I know not what path I have ahead for myself. I've taken the deep breath for the plunge. Little by little, I've built up my bravery in the hopes of moving forward for something greater. There are times when I have fallen behind, times when I have been too afraid to seek greater, and I will do my best to no longer live in that way. I come from a clan of pride, a clan of hunters, of protectors, and while we may be small in number now, for the actions of evil, I will not let that bring me down. I will not let that turn me into something evil or cowardly. I can grow beyond that. I will grow beyond that. I have trained. I've trained for many years, since I was on my own. I've learned to control the so-called monster they want to believe that I am. And I've mastered the element of thunder and lightning. Focused it to something powerful and beautiful. I will not be this creature they have chosen to hate. I will grow beyond that. I will fight for not only myself, but for the innocent. I will live my life to become better and to make this world better. I am a lichen, a wolfman. I come from a line of guardians of the kingdom. I wear that lineage with pride, and I will not let prejudices bring that down. If I wish to prove this world greater than how they see me, then I will act as so. I am Lonn Callwinter. I am the lichen huntsman, and I will take you on this journey with me, for pride, for valor, and for a better tomorrow. I know not what path I... Wow. Oop. Hello there, wolfheads. Welcome to my debut stream. I'm Lonn Callwinter. Some of you may already know me, some of you may not, but this is it. This is the beginning. Hello, Mom. Hello, Hemington. So, before we get started, we're probably going to have a few friends over, hopefully, when they can show up. Until then, I think we're going to give it a few minutes, and then we're going to get started on the, slideshow. So hopefully we can get started on that soon. Alright. Let me zoom in myself a little bit here. I don't like how far away I am. How does that look? Does it look better? A little bit. Just trying to make sure everything's set up properly before we really get going. How's everyone doing? Everyone doing all right? Sorry there's no real music. Maybe I should get some music. Let me see if I can play some in the background or something. Hang on. I don't really like that there's no music. I guess everyone can hear me fine. Let me make sure the desktop's on. Turn that. Free to see. Background music.
Hopefully this won't get me copyright struck, but we will see. Oh, I accidentally turned on my sad mode. It's triggered by the S button, so, yeah. Doing great? Well, that's good. I was a little worried it was going to be not going so well. Let's see. How loud is this going to be? Hopefully not too loud. Hopefully, let's see. Alright. Let me turn this down a little bit. At least to have something in the background, at least. Royalty free. Let's hope they're not lying. I really hope this is royalty free. It would suck if it wasn't. Alright. Just gonna make sure, because we're gonna be here for a little while, so I'm gonna give it a little bit more time before we start going. Alright. Make sure everything's properly ready to go. Excuse me. Alright. Okay. I'd say we're all ready to go. We're about 10 minutes in, so might as well get the presentation started. Alright, so let me bring myself down a little bit here. Ugh. Ignore that I had no legs there. Alright. Let's see. And almost sounds like Kingdom Hearts, this music. Make sure I need to be in front of that. Wait, no, that's not. Okay. I think we're ready to go. Except I need to make sure. I'll make that a little smaller. Alright. So this is going to be my slideshow. Here we go. Yes. So I'm Lonn Callwinter, and this is my VTuber mama, my original designer, Soul, a Raro Regal. You can find them on Twitter under this name, so you can look them up. They are on Twitter. I believe they're also on Instagram under this name. So, wait a minute. What's going on with me here? Having some spooling issues. Give it a minute. Hang on. I wanna fix that a little bit here. What's going on here? Oh, that's not right. That's a little better. Yeah, I like that better. Alright. Okay. Here we go. Yes, so my VTuber mama is Soul, Raro Regal. This was a character that I had kind of in mind for a while. at first didn't consider making him a VTuber, but I was convinced by some friends to do so. So eventually I took the plunge and decided to ask Sol for help to design. Alright. Next up is my VTuber Papa, which is Yuika Hirosaki. Their Etsy shop is on Nekonime. Let me turn down the music a little bit. I don't want to compete with the music as much. So as you can see, they designed this one, they followed the original design pretty well. Dang it. Can we go back? Yeah. They followed Sol's original design pretty well. Gave it their own style. It was really interesting. It was like a meeting of fate that near the end of last year, I just happened to be able to see that they were having a really good deal on models, so I decided to take the chance, and now we've got me. And I was really happy because they basically said, well, I asked if I could have a tail, and they gave it to me. And now you can see it swishing in the background behind me. I really like it. Alright, so yeah, if you want to learn any more about them, you can follow them on... You can look for them on Etsy. They're also on Twitter, but I can't remember their at this moment of what it is. But, alright. So it's time to get more into the lore of things. So... where a lot of Lonn comes from is the Celtic legend of the Ossuary werewolves, which is a very, very old legend where in Ossuary there would be werewolves that would actually be protectors of the kingdom. Sorry for hitting the mic. Essentially, they were guardians instead of the more traditional monsters that we know of them today. Now, to add a little more fun, a little more flavor to Lonn, I have thunder and lightning powers, which is inspired by the Raiju, which is a Japanese legend, and the Raiju can take many forms, but sometimes the Raiju is known for being a wolf. So, I thought it fit. The idea is that I wield a broadsword for normal, everyday encounters, you know how they are, and a katana that allows me to slay dark creatures, and we'll get a little more into why I wield a katana in a minute. And my mode of transportation is an omniarch, which is an all-terrain sort of vessel that allows me to get around all sorts of places, and it is called the Grandmother's Will. And I mostly take on monster-slaying jobs, but I will occasionally take jobs as a bodyguard or investigator. I also have a sarcastic companion known as Terry the Flameskull, who is in fact a Flameskull. He's not around right now, but hopefully he will show up eventually. I'd really like for him to be able to show up. Some more behind-the-curtain stuff about me. I've been voice acting for over 10 years, at least 10 years. It might actually be 15 now. Well, maybe not that long, but certainly feels like it. I'm currently studying Kendo, which is where the katana comes into play. I'm a 5th Q, and in June I'm going to attempt to go for 4th Q. I grew up playing PlayStation 2 games. PlayStation 2 was my first console, so I have a lot of personal experience with the PlayStation 2, and many of its games, although a lot of them were movie tie-in games, but, you know. And I have 1 dog and 2 cats, who are somewhere around the house right now. The idea of the concept was based around how JRPGs and anime OVAs of the 90s would, and some TV animes as well, would base their fantasy stories off of European mythology. And the idea of me is that I'm sort of one of those main characters that you would see in one of those underground more OVAs or JRPGs that sort of only a few people actually talked about. which is why, even though I'm heavily Japanese influenced, I am European. I have more Western influence. I'm sort of a Western character through the guise of an Eastern design. Inspirations. You can see plenty of stuff here. This is going to be quite a long list. Now, this is the Weathering Continent. Oh, I'm in the way. Shoot. Hang on. I'll make it a little smaller. Which is an anime movie based on a book that is a fantasy series. And of course, here we have probably one of my bigger influences, Guts, which any of my YouTube viewers will probably appreciate. The idea is sort of that, yes, Lonn is heavily inspired by Guts, so that's where a lot of he comes from. Hang on. There's Berserk as well. The entirety of Berserk was a big influence for the series, for me. Vampire Hunter D as well is a big influence. You're going to start noticing a pattern here. Geralt of Rivia, a huge influence for the design of Lonn. Lados War, which was a very popular 90s fantasy Japanese anime, heavily influenced by Dungeons & Dragons. So that's where a lot of that comes from. And there's Trevor Belmont from the Castlevania Netflix series. There's a little influence from him as well. Kind of just overall rugged fantasy heroes is kind of one of Lonn's biggest influences. So that's where a lot of my design comes from. Arian, which is more underground. Oh wait, okay, well we'll just keep going. We've got Arian, and we've got a few other ones here. We've got Bastard, and just overall, it's a lot of influences from 90s and early 80s Japanese anime. Deedlit Best Girl, exactly, Ginger. Exactly. A lot of influences from 90s Western-inspired Japanese anime. So there's plenty of stuff here. Do I have any more of these? No, I do not. Okay. But yeah, that's an overall idea of what kind of aesthetic I'm going for. What will I play? Well, as I mentioned before, I was a kid who grew up on the PlayStation 2, so you will be seeing a lot of stuff like Kingdom Hearts, Metal Gear Solid, and maybe some other stuff that wasn't actually on the PS2, but was in that era, like Knights of the Old Republic. I also really want to explore a lot of indie titles that I think would be a lot of fun. Like Unbeatable, all of this stuff you can find on Steam, I want to be clear. Geno Kids, which is a heavily Devil May Cry, Kingdom Hearts inspired game. You can't really see it very well, I didn't plan that out properly, but that's Gear Grit right there, which is very influenced by Jak and Daxter 2. And Gunmetal Gothic, which is a fun, cool game that I saw in MagFest, which is a PS1 era inspired kind of Gothic shooter, which you can play with multiple teams, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm going to try to convince my friend Lita, who will hopefully show up soon after her stream. I'm going to convince her to play with me. Alright. And that's pretty much that. I don't know if anyone has any real questions, but that is that. So we'll go ahead and close that. And bring me back to the forefront. Ah, legs. All right. So, I'm not entirely sure. Okay. So it might be a little time before we really get started. Sorry, answering your question real quick. Okay. So. Now, it looks like Sylvie, my friend Sylvie, is going to be here around 4 in about a half an hour. So, I'm trying to think of what we can do until we get started. And really start bringing in people. Let's see. Let me look. Admittedly, I didn't think very much of what I would do for myself. But... if you all will just bear with me. So this might not be a great idea for me to just start opening stuff willy-nilly on Steam. So I don't think we're going to do that, actually. Well... let's, uh-oh. Oh, no, I'm still... okay. Actually, let me look around. Let's explore for a minute. I had all this plan. It was like I had all the stuff for the beginning planned, but I didn't really think about what was going to be in the middle. Oh well. All right. Okay. Sorry about that. Alright. Okie dokie. Okie dokie dokie. Here we go. Alright. I guess we could get into more Hades. Until, yeah, let's just do that. Let's just play some Hades 2 for now.